This is Thursday, January 2nd. We are here to address Halifax Regional Council in regards of newly elected Halifax Mayor Andy Fillmore. Christmas had just ended. I still have my Christmas shirt on, so you have to just bear with us for the time being because I didn't put all my stuff away, and as you can tell, my coffee mug is still out. My Christmas coffee mug is still out. So we're going to address Halifax Regional Council, including the clerk's office. If they wish to tune in, they can do so. And we're doing this for the better of the community of the Halifax region. We're just not doing it for the better of myself, my neighbors, my friends across the street. I'm doing this for the best interest of our entire Halifax region. I believe there's 16 districts, and for a mayor, for a person to be mayor, I should say, they have to be open to all districts and to all community residents of those districts within the Halifax region. And if he or she, whoever is mayor, cannot do that, then obviously he or she, whoever's mayor, shouldn't be there, because the elected mayor of Halifax is there for everybody in all 16 districts, and that's just the way it is. All right, so our concern with Andy Fillmore is the way how he been addressing himself. He been raising a lot of red flags. He been a concern to a lot of people since he been elected mayor, and back in the end of around the end of October of this year, 2014, just gone by, and it got to the point, we gotta address Halifax Regional Council so they can properly address it themselves to whether or not we need a no confidence vote put in place to possibly look at replacing Andy Fillmore, or can we address Andy Fillmore and can he comply to that, and can he respect that? Because we don't want a mayor who's going to be there disrespecting majority of the residents in the Halifax region. We want a mayor who's going to be there, who's going to be respectful, understanding, open, reachable, and in reality of what people in the Halifax region are going through during this difficult time of crisis, such as the affordable housing crisis, the affordability to afford groceries. Nova Scotia Power steady bringing up their interest, their rates, their power rates in the Nova Scotia Utility Review Board. Every time a Nova Scotia Power, majority of the time, they want a rate hike. Utility Review Board, majority of the time, goes in favor of the Nova Scotia Power. Jobs in our Halifax region ain't the best. They're not even dependable. Majority of the people in the Halifax region who has jobs are working without job security, high risk employment. Family people are struggling to support their families. Christmas is becoming a very unrealistic, unaffordable religious holiday celebration, I should say. A lot of people are struggling with this. Should Ottawa do away with Christmas? Should that be looked at? Is there another way that we can handle Christmas? Access to public transit within the Halifax region, mental health in our region. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to cover for all you people at home. So this email here is to Halifax Regional Council, to the clerk's office. If there's anybody at home that would like to address a concern to Halifax Council, or if they'd like to make a feedback with Andy Fillmore as mayor to whether or not he should stay on as mayor or should he resign, because I'm not talking about just because you're a buddy or because you're somebody who is backing up Andy Fillmore, what a great man, all this stuff, to be mayor. I don't want those people here. What I want is people who are struggling and the people who feel that Andy Fillmore may not be the person to be mayor of Halifax, and the people who would like Andy Fillmore to be more considerate when he's voicing and how he's addressing things, because the feedback what I've been hearing from the community is that he's been he's been insulting people, the way how he expresses himself, how he been speaking on the press. This been going on right from the day when he during his election campaign. He been raising a caution flag. Is or is this man not fit to be mayor? And that's why I'm doing this video for Halifax Regional Council. I like all council members and all Halifax Regional Council be consider is Andy Fillmore fit to be mayor of Halifax? And what I'm asking is, if Andy Fillmore cannot meet the obligations, what I'm bringing up here, the statements, what I'm bringing up, if he can't respect that, perhaps, the clerk's office at Halifax City Hall and the council members should look at, all right, let's just go ahead and conduct a no confidence vote. But I was on the phone last week with my council member for District 2, David Hensby, and he had told me how the no confidence vote works, and he said they don't usually do a no confidence vote. It's a committee of people higher up. They look at things when things go south for the worst, when how they don't like it to go, and he had stated that when they conduct that vote, that's how the their version of the no confidence vote takes place. So, but this email right here to the clerk's office and to Andy Fillmore here on the bottom, send your feedback to Andy Fillmore with your concerns if you feel that he is respecting your concerns and your point of view, and is he respecting you as a person at home, and do you feel that he should be mayor? Is that a pretty fair statement? That's a pretty fair statement. All right, let's get right off the bat. Andy Fillmore. So Andy Fillmore was elected as mayor in October of 2024 when he resigned his post as the Member of Parliament for Halifax. So Halifax West, or whatever, it's just Halifax. We'll say Halifax. All right, and Andy Fillmore is a former member of the Member of Parliament for the Federal Liberal Party of Canada under the leadership of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And this year he resigned his post from the Federal Liberal Party to become a candidate to run for mayor in October of 2024, which he had successfully ran. And here's the thing. Andy Fillmore had been having big political names for endorsements. Peter Stauffer was one. Daryl Sampson was another. Keith Caldwell was another problematic. Two problematic people right off the bat. Keith Caldwell, Daryl Sampson. Keith Caldwell was removed from the Nova Scotia Liberal Party a few years back. His nomination was allowed to continue because of conflicts of the community with a number of community residents. And Ian Rankin at the time, the premier of Nova Scotia and former Nova Scotia Liberal leader, had removed Keith Caldwell's nomination status for the run for the Preston riding. So that was into him. And Daryl Sampson is the current Member of Parliament for Sackville, Preston, Chesapeake. And there had been a series of sexual assault allegations that had taken place when he was a teacher, when he was a former teacher at the then Halifax Regional School Board, that is now the Halifax Regional Center for Education. It had been alleged that Daryl Sampson was once a teacher at Eastern Shore District High, and he is allegedly accused, that the victim, a female student, had made a sexual assault allegation, saying that Daryl Sampson had assaulted her when he was her teacher at Eastern Shore District High, and it resulted to a conflict with the family member. The victim's brother there was a physical confrontation taking place. And Daryl Sampson and the brother of the victim, they had to separate them. According to the victim, the victim's brother was in the vice principal's office, separated from Daryl Sampson, as Daryl Sampson was placed inside the main principal's office until the police would arrive to conduct an investigation. And according to them, they stated that Daryl Sampson was removed from Eastern Shore District High. He did not return back, and he was replaced with a substitute teacher for the remainder of the year. And they were debating to whether they should charge the victim's brother for assaulting Daryl Sampson, which is understandable. But that was another concern for one of Andy Fillmore's endorsements. And when you looked at all of Andy Fillmore's endorsements, what do you see? Big shot after big shot after big shot and after big shot. And the other big political name I noticed was Peter Stauffer, former member of Parliament for the Eastern Shore, Sackville Riding, and he's the former NDP member of Parliament. And the insulting part with Peter Stauffer I noticed was when he endorsed Andy Fillmore. Peter Stauffer's all about the poor, the low income, helping people when they're struggling, you know, trying to make things for the better in the region. And here's here's Peter Stauffer endorsing Andy Fillmore. You know. But anyways, I think you know what I'm getting from when I'm talking about endorsements. They're problematic. Problematic people who tried to disguise themselves as good people in the community when really they weren't what they say they were. All right, so let's talk about the issues that are taking place in our Halifax region that Andy Fillmore had not respected. Her statement. Affordable housing. Majority of the people in the Halifax region are struggling with affordable housing. During the 2024 municipal election that was held in October, all we heard from Mayor Andy Fillmore was that the people who are accessing these encampment shelters because they can't afford a place to live because of the high cost of rent, that they've been raising a red flag and an attraction sign for the Halifax region, giving it a black eye nonetheless, you know. For a mayorly candidate to say that, in my opinion, this is my views. So if you people at home feel the same way, feel free to tell the Mayor Andy Fillmore on this email here above, including the clerk's office. For a mayorly candidate to say what he stated, that gives me the intentions that Mayor Andy Fillmore is not the person to be mayor. He shouldn't be allowed to be the candidate. He shouldn't be any of the candidates to say what he had to say. Because for a candidate to be running for mayor, you have to be willing to combat the crisis, the housing crisis. You have to say positive things. Because if you're going to go out there and insult everybody, make some ignorant, smart comment, I don't think Andy Fillmore should be mayor. And to me, that's poor leadership. That's not a leader. That's not a sign of a leader. I mean, I looked at running for mayor, and I'll tell you right now, if I was a candidate running for mayor, that's the last thing that would come out of my mouth, is what Andy Fillmore just said. And if I was the mayor of Halifax, and if I had stated what Andy Fillmore stated, first thing I'd be doing is turning to the press, inviting them to my office, the mayor's office, so I can make a public apology to all the Haligonians across Halifax, so they're not so insulted. You know, and I said, well, if you want to flip the bird at me every now and then, feel free to do so, because, well, maybe I deserve it for saying what Andy Fillmore has stated, because that's what people should be. They should not be welcoming Andy Fillmore as mayor. They should be, you know, letting them hear it. And affordable housing, you know, this is going to be a long road before it's resolved. It's a provincial jurisdiction responsibility. The province is not committed. This provincial election that just went by, the Nova Scotia provincial election was held in November. Premier Tim Houston, Claudia Chandler, Zach Churchill, all the big main contender leaders of the Nova Scotia Liberal Party, the Conservative Party of Nova Scotia, and the NDP Party, not one of them was actually committed to combat affordable housing. Not one of them. They will do everything. Their main issue was, remember, trying to remove the toll booths from the McDonald Bridge. So if you remove the toll booths from the McDonald Bridge, so now the question is, who pays the maintenance upkeep? Who pays for the safety quality to whether or not that McDonald Bridge and McKay Bridge are safe to use? So if you remove those safety people, if you stop funding for the McDonald McKay Bridge to be properly maintained, so who's paying for this? So you're just going to allow a bunch of people drive across their bridge that's no longer safe until it falls down into the harbor, and you got, I don't know, a couple hundred souls sitting in the bottom of Halifax Harbor because this crazy idea of removing the poles to pay for the maintenance upkeep to these two bridges is no longer being conducted. That's not a very good sign of leadership. And that's what's wrong with Nova Scotia's provincial government. They don't act on issues until it's in crisis. We need a government that's going to act before something falls in crisis, because The warning signs is often shown before something goes in crisis. It's a lot like driving an old car. You'll know when it's time to fix things on your car because it's starting to show its wear and tear. And that's what Nova Scotia does. They see the wear and tear happening, they ignore it until something happens, then they let it go in crisis, and lo and behold. But affordable housing is something that Andy Fillmore should not be saying what he's saying. I feel Andy Fillmore should be making a public apology before he continues to go anywhere else. I think Halifax Regional Council should endorse that on Andy Fillmore, should enforce on him, I should say. And let's talk about the affordability of groceries. You know, because all this affordable housing, groceries, Nova Scotia Power, jobs, family, Christmas, accessing to public transit, mental health, it's all connected. If you don't have affordable housing, you can't house your family. Your job is basically useless. It's pointless. Why are you going to it? You public transit, you got no way to get to your job. So all this stuff is all connected. Now, like I said, groceries. Here's the thing. People here in our region are struggling to put groceries on the table to feed their families, let alone feed themselves. Here's Andy Fillmore, former member of Parliament. My concern when you get former member of Parliament running for the mayor's office, the mayor's seat, sometimes when they're in Ottawa, sometimes they lose the sight of reality out in the community around them on what's actually going on. They live the high, rich, fancy life, like I stated in my emails to all the Halifax Regional Council members, and they lose a sense of reality. And that's what's wrong. This is what's wrong, in my opinion, with Andy Fillmore. It's not like Justin Trudeau. I mean, Justin Trudeau, unfortunately, he's going to face a no confidence vote, and he'll be removed as leader of the Liberal Party, and that'll be into him. But it seems like all his experiences what Andy Fillmore had been experiencing in Ottawa with the Justin Trudeau government, he's bringing it to Halifax, in our Halifax City Hall, in the mayor's office, along with them. Did you not notice that? And if Andy Fillmore is going to be telling people, well, Halifax, these people who are accessing these encampment shelters are just raising an attraction sign for to the Halifax region for these homeless people to come to Halifax, that to me is not a good sign of a good mayor. It's a sign of a mayor with no leadership, poor attitude. This is not what we want. And like I said, groceries, people in our region are struggling to put food on the table, let alone feed themselves. Imagine if a person having about 2 kids, the high prices that groceries are, and you're sitting there trying to feed yourselves. And I mean, for me alone, groceries for me is about $320 a month. So you had 2 kids, $320 is going real fast. Nova Scotia Power, majority of the people, that Nova Scotia Power, they just look for excuses to raise their rates. Just for an excuse. What was their latest excuse? All due to the increased weather conditions with the hurricanes, the weather, snowstorms, power going up. We like to increase the rate so we can better combat the weather. What load of crap. Here we are with the Nova Scotia government, with the Nova Scotia Utility Review Board. The Nova Scotia Utility Review Board is supposed to review everything before, when the Nova Scotia Power Corporation decides us trying to raise their rates. The Utility Review Board is supposed to review everything before they decide to turn it down or approve it. Majority of the time, the Nova Scotia Utility Review Board is giving the Nova Scotia Power whatever they want. And it was the Tories who contracted the Nova Scotia Power in the first place. So everything what the Nova Scotia government is doing when they're saying we're elected to help work for the better Nova Scotia, they're actually putting problems in front of the people of Nova Scotia, and they're causing them more trouble than what they're doing any good. And that's basically what it comes down to. Jobs. Look at this, jobs in our Halifax region. Majority of the jobs are not even worth going out of the way for. No job security, no pension, health benefits. Jobs in Halifax region are not even worth getting out of the way for. You know, Halifax, look at the Halifax jobs. It's for the Halifax municipality jobs. Coal Harbor place, yeah, we'll contract it out. Yeah. It did a lot of good for Coal Harbor place when they did that, I must say. It made it worse. And when you look at the families today in our Halifax region, people are moving away. The rich you see the rich from other parts of Canada, they'll move to Halifax because they got the money. They got the money that they can do this. If you're somebody that's a low income family, you're being forced out of the Halifax region. I seen more people from the Halifax region. You used to be in the Halifax region, now living in communities like Truro, what was it, New Glasgow, Amherst? No, mostly around New Glasgow and Truro you see them living, or they'll go out west, you know. And that's something that we have to realize. People are leaving our region because they just can't afford to be in our region. Halifax Transit. Halifax Transit does not service all the communities in our Halifax region. The last thing what we need to hear is Halifax Transit discontinuing services from our Halifax region. Halifax Transit has too many buses jammed in one area. Back in 2012, David Hinsby will remember this, for District 2, it was announced that Halifax Transit was going to construct a park and ride for the communities of Musquodoboit Harbour, Porters Lake, and Mineville. Only Porters Lake received a park and ride. What happened to the communities of Musquodoboit Harbour and Mineville? I called the Halifax Transit Management about this, and they had stated that the community of Musquodoboit Harbour, as of right now, their park and ride had been discontinued. For the park and ride in the community of Mineville, it's still on a go. It's still a go. It's still under review. But according to a woman from the Mineville community, they told me that the community had turned it down because they seen the area rates, all things would increase. And she had said, told me, she said, if we were to apply, if we were to get that park and ride constructed in the community of Mineville, that their rates would increase, their tax rate would increase about $450. That's what she had stated. But I wasn't at that meeting, so that park and ride in the community of Mineville needs to be constructed. And like I said, Halifax Transit needs to be servicing communities throughout the HRM. And not only that, they should have a plan in place for communities with low ridership so the community doesn't lose their public transit due to low ridership. I mean, the Nova Scotia government should be funding Halifax Transit with taxpayers' money to help support low-income transit routes. I mean, if the bus service is only receiving 2 people per trip or for the day, yeah, let's cancel that. But if you got let's say the Halifax Transit bus that runs from Halifax to Dartmouth, if they're only getting 6-7 people per trip, that's something that perhaps tax dollars could help pay to keep these public transit running because of low ridership. You know, we shouldn't be seeing public transit bus services being discontinued because their Halifax Transit isn't receiving their I don't know, they're icing on a cake. They prefer to eat a cake with icing on it, and these rural communities are not providing that good, nice, tasty icing like the how the rest of the city transit service would receive it. Mental health, there's a good one. Just happened today. The RCMP had a standoff with a person out in my community. Their negotiations failed. He put a gun to himself. I don't know why, if it was an upper part of his body, I don't know what part, but anyways, he shot himself, committed suicide. When we're dealing with mental health, the problem with mental health is it's a one-way streak only, one-way direction only. Everybody's mental illness is different than others. Not everybody's as easily as fixed as others. Some people with mental health issues, their problems are deeper and stronger than others. The problem is what a lot of people will see, and it could have been the RCMP, Halifax Police, or provincial police. They're not properly trained on how to better deal with people with mental illnesses. Because majority of the calls they go to are people with mental illnesses. And like I told David Hensley on the phone, I said, that's why I often state if somebody has a mental illness issue, that they should not be allowed to have access to any kind of firearm because of that. Because obviously, because they don't have the mental mortality to understand what they're doing. They don't want you to have a gun if you're posing a risk to people. And you can't have police officers that they think they're king of the hill, my wares nothing. And we have to accept responsibility that our Nova Scotia criminal justice system, when it comes to people with mental health, here we are in 2025, where the courts and the Crown prosecution are still sending mentally ill people to prison instead of the East Coast Forensic Hospital, the Abbey Lane building in Halifax. Now, I don't believe that they can send them to Nova Scotia Hospital anymore, because as far as I was told, that the Nova Scotia Hospital is just a place where they look after people who can't look after themselves. It's not a mental hospital as everybody thinks how it used to be at one time. So like I said, if Andy Fillmore can't respect mental health, like I just said, he can't be there, because you have to have leadership skills. You have to be respectful to people. And from what I've been reading on the feedback on social media, now social media is a nasty place to be. It's muddy, toxic to be on. So that Andy Fillmore is not receiving a lot of great feedback from people. I mean, I understand Facebook can be an attraction for people to get nothing good to say, or it's a good attraction for political people who like to take jabs at political people because their political colors are different from them. We understand that. But the bottom line is Andy Fillmore got to be a better mayor than what we see now. So I'm asking Halifax Regional Council, stuff what I just mentioned here. If Andy Fillmore is going to be the way how he is, how he's expressing himself, maybe removing Andy Fillmore as mayor is something that we should be looking at. Appoint the deputy mayor as the mayor for the time being, and we'll call for a by-election, have Mr. Fillmore replaced. But I feel what Andy Fillmore's problem right now is he's struggling on how he's expressing himself. He's saying all the wrong things that a mayor usually would not say. I mean, President Donald Trump, I don't think would even go this far with what Andy Fillmore's saying, but I feel that, here's the thing. Democracy can be a hard thing to respect and accept. I'll admit it, I struggle with it myself. And when I say that, I say, look, when every time I've been seeing an election at any level, federal, municipal, or provincial, here's the thing. People, no matter how bad or mean a candidate is, or how much damage that they'll pose to a community or to a person's livelihood, I noticed that people would re-elect these problematic people over and over and over again, no matter how much damage that they do to people. That's why I have a struggle with democracy, and I do. And, we have the right to express ourselves, as long as it's not in a threatening manner. But I feel that Andy Fillmore has to be a better mayor than what we see now. My suggestion to Halifax Regional Council is we'll give him till March, or in April of this year, or in June. Let's give him the June. Let's give him the June of this year, 2025. And if he's not sharpened up, if he's not bettering his ways, his mayorly skills, I'm asking Halifax Regional Council if we could take a serious look of conducting the no confidence vote process against Mr. Fillmore and replace him. Because let's just face it, there were better respectful mayorly candidates that ran against Andy Fillmore in October, this municipal election just gone by. We seen them. I seen a better mayorly candidate that did a better job as mayor than Andy Fillmore. Turn that list of candidates. But, when you start seeing political people, jumping on top of somebody's bandwagon just because they're liberal or Tory or whatever the case may be, maybe that can be a problem. Like I said, look at Andy Fillmore's endorsements. Problematic people backing him up. Keith Caldwell, Daryl Sampson, above all. Keith Caldwell, another one. Three problematic people right off the bat. So, I'm hoping that this here is a wake-up call to the people of Halifax and to all these people who voted for Andy Fillmore and for these people who endorsed Andy Fillmore above all. He just got a person elected who shouldn't have been elected as mayor. This is concerning. So I'm going to leave it at that. David Hinsby, you're my council member. I'm going to ask you that you get after Andy Fillmore, and I'll give him the June. Give him the June. Can I ask Halifax Regional Council give him the June of 2025? And if he doesn't sharpen up, let's take a serious look at the no confidence vote process, and let's steer our Halifax Regional Council in a better direction with a better mayor, because people of Halifax, the mayor of Halifax has to be respectful and open-minded to everybody, just not some. And from what I'm seeing right now, it's just Andy's buddies and the corporate people accessing the mayor's office, and that mayor's office is to the people. It's the people's office. And like I said, if I was the mayor of Halifax, which I had looked at running for it, that's a costly leap to be making. But if I was the mayor of Halifax, I learned a lot from Peter Kelly when I was on his campaign team, mostly Peter Kelly and Mike Savage. I learned a lot from him too. It's not about myself. It's not about the people who got you elected. It's about the community. It's not what the community can do for you. It's what you can do for the community is what matters. That's what you got to focus on. And until that attitude changes from the people who were electing in office, the better humanity, the direction that we're going in, it's not good. So anyways, my name is Adam Conrod. I want to address Halifax Regional Council on this, and I ask that you be more considerate, be a whole lot considerate in what I just stated.